Hi, this is Ruth with the Happiness Project. I wanted to hop online and share a little bit of perspective about the coronavirus anxiety. I'm not medical, so I can't tell you much about the coronavirus other than what's already in the news, but the anxiety around it, I've been um, dealing with that in that I have several, clients that are very much affected by that. And not everybody is. I've been hearing multiple times this week. I'm sensing this anxiety coming from every place and every angle, and um, that might be half the people I talk to. So it's not coming from everywhere, and everyone's not really caught up in that. But if you are susceptible to anxiety, then seeing, like, this is one of those things where if you stay busy, stay busy, stay busy, it's not helping that much, I imagine, because it is in your face like all the time, especially if you're working in grocery stores, you're working in healthcare, you're working in the news, you're working on the front lines. But even if you're not, I think it's sweet to see families walking around, but you're like, you don't normally see that many families walking around. It's because we're all locked down because of the virus. Like, you can't get away from the fact that things have changed and we're living a little differently for the moment, and it's unusual. So there's a lot of uncertainty with the unknown, a lot of discomfort with not being able to control everything. And that's an interesting thing in itself, because the whole concept that you had control of these things outside your control in the first place, I was just, that's a big fat lie your brain told you, to help you be a little bit calm. There's a predictability about the routine, and therefore I imagine that I can control all the things. But these things were never in our control. So being face to face with that is extremely uncomfortable if you have anxiety, because anxious people want to control so they can feel safe. The worst version of the anxiety that I've heard, and I've heard it multiple times this week, has to do with essentially us having a zombie apocalypse minus the zombies. So yeah, we're all shut in now and things are squeaking by, but what if people start to get crazy? What if people really panic? You know, um, and then there's reports of people buying up a bunch of ammo in Texas. Okay, people are buying all this ammo for their guns. Do I need a gun? Do I need to protect myself? These kinds of thoughts are happening. Or actually, yeah, two different people talked to me about guns this week and what's happening. And there are people out there that are reacting extremely in fear. But I think that really is the minority, the kind that would fight over the toilet paper because they don't want to, I don't know, use a shower if they have to. Anyway, so the point is that there is some very extreme fear out there, and the worst case scenario seems to be like full on societal breakdown, zombie apocalypse style, where and I think if supply chains, like if we couldn't get food and couldn't feed our babies, that would be the scenario where I see that being possible. But I don't see why the food would break down. Society doesn't seem to be breaking down that much. But even if you're logically there already and like, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, it still may feel like, but what if? I mean, it could get so bad. So what I've been suggesting is I've been telling people, okay, how about this? Because our anxiety, wants to create all the scenarios and think of ways to control for all the scenarios, which is ridiculous. We can't. But our anxiety is like giving us the pitch, hey, I'll keep you safe, just keep me with you, let's worry all the time because that's fun. And so even if nothing's happened, we get to be in pain anyway. So I think we can't push down the anxiety because it's there. Like, I'm not big on pushing down and trying to ignore our feelings and put them away and pretend like they're not there and just stay busy, busy, busy and all that, because one, it doesn't work. That stuff comes out eventually anyway. And two, this stuff you can't get away from. So I say, all right, anxiety, how about this? And to anyone out there, how about you are allowed to have a full scale, 10 on the Richter scale, volcanic, explosive, wild, panic driven breakdown freak out. I'm trying to think of as many words to make that as big as I can. You can have a full-scale freak out. You're allowed once your scenario comes true. If we're in the middle of a complete zombie apocalypse, people killing each other in the street and robbing each other for hand sanitizer, and all that stuff, if it's completely nuts out there and we're eating each other's brains or what have you, then you're allowed to freak out. It's okay. And so if that's not happening, if you're not having your brains chewed into by a zombie right at this moment, or fighting off a horde of robbers with your arsenal, if that's not happening right now, then your anxiety, you get to tell it, well, okay, we'll just wait and see. Right? You're allowed to freak out. You're allowed to freak out as much as you want once it's happening, but right now it's not happening, so let's just wait and see. And I've kind of been using that as a tool to, acknowledge that desire to have a reaction, but noticing that there's nothing to have a reaction to yet. Not on that scale. If you lost income, you may have to have a reaction in terms of spending less and planning less and looking for contingencies and looking forward to the bailout perhaps, or things like that. That makes sense. But to freak out, like staying up at night wondering, if someone's going to get shot, or, some of these more wild scenarios, and your mind is really preoccupied with that, you know what? You're allowed to panic once that stuff is happening. But let's just wait and see. So I don't know about you, but I haven't heard any shots outside my window since it started. I am currently not being robbed. I'm not being beaten. Actually, we live in a good bit of luxury, being able to have all the supplies we need, have temperature control and electronics and entertainment that we can binge on for days and weeks if we really wanted to. There's a lot that we have. So until it's time to freak out, I'm just going to put that on hold. And I hope this is helpful to someone out there. All right. Take care of yourselves. Bye.